Welcome back, guys, on another new episode of Get Through Show, your favorite YouTube show. And you can see I'm with Melody Farida Masamba. It's your boy Victor Chibuz, and we have a guest in our midst by Melissa. Melissa, you're welcome to Get Through Show.
Thank you.
All right, and today we want to talk about why our African parents so strict. We want to know why our African parents are very so strict. Let's find out from Melody, because she's coming from an African home, well-trained home. So let's find out how her mother used to when she's doing
What makes
nonsense.
you think I come from a well-trained home? The way you're saying it with so much confidence.
Because I know now, I know. Let's talk about this, Melody. Why are African parents so strict?
Why are African parents so strict? I think the reason... I also think not... Okay, so African parents are strict, but it depends on which child. Because when you're firstborn, they're strict on you. But when you're second, they calm down a little. When you're third, they're no longer strict.
So you think it's stages by stages?
Yes, because I feel like if you're a firstborn, then you're the first child and they don't want... You know when your parents raise you up inside the house, when you go outside, you're a reflection of themselves.
Yeah.
So...
True.
And also as the first child, you're their first child. So they've never had a child before, so they don't know how to, you know, at least with the second child, they know, okay, this is where I went wrong with this one. Now I will, you know. But like I said, for me personally, I just feel like African parents are really strict because you are a reflection of who they are outside. So whatever you do outside is a reflection of them. So I think that's the main reason they are strict. Although I don't agree with them being strict, but I think that is what...
I think we use the word strict, né? Because it covers whatsoever that they have, whatever training they have to give you. You know, it's sometimes it comes with forceful hands because some of us like African kids we barely listen. You get what I mean? So for us to be straightforward, they need to be very strict or somehow strict. You know what I mean? Because I remember when I was growing up, my mom like spanked me very well. You know, because sometimes when you go to school and then after school you have to start playing there without coming home early and all that. You know, you come home dirty. You know what I mean? So they have to correct you in as much as you have to play. But you must know that it's someone that is washing your clothes and all that. So it's not like they're being strict in a bad way. But at the end of the day, you end up coming right because of the upbringing. Do you get what I mean? So it's never a bad thing. But these days, you find out like African parents, they don't actually get more strict like to our fathers and mothers. You know what I mean? So these days you can see a child doing this, and then when you kind of report to the parents, they will be like, yeah, he's still a child. I don't know if you get one like recently. You know what I mean? So it's a good thing when they're strict to us to a certain extent, because it's gonna put a child in a certain way. Yeah, in a certain way that he or she's supposed to be. Do you get what I mean? You know, Melissa, you have a child?
No.
Not yet. Okay. But you married, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's hear from you. How did your parents like raise you up? Like, are they very strict to you or?
Well, I wasn't raised by my parents.
Okay.
I was raised by my grandparents. Okay. And growing up, it looked easy, but it's not easy because it was just the three of us all my life. It's me, it's my grandma, it's my granddad, and a cleaner that comes in and out. So growing up, I used to be very scared of my grandma because she seemed to be like this strict person. If my grandmother says, you must come back at 6, you must come back at 6. There's no 6:15 or 6:30. If it's weekend and my grandma says, this patron is not going out, she's literally saying, you are not going anywhere. It's like that. And once in forever, she takes a wooden spoon and she spanks you. If you have braids, she will be like, this is the cause of this behavior. She will take a scissor or a knife, pull you. She doesn't care if she's cutting your natural hair or not. She will cut everything because maybe the reason why you are behaving this certain way is because of these braids.
But okay, now let's find out this. So Melissa, tell me, the way your grandma was like, treating you then, and now that you've grown, how do you see it? Was she doing, like, do you see it as if she's doing you bad or doing you good? Do you get what I mean? In the aspect of raising you properly. Yes.
I feel like over time, my grandmother and I became very close to a point whereby we can talk about everything in life. And she became a softer version. And she made me understand that in life, yes, she made me understand that in life, you need to have home training. In life, you need to be on a certain level. You can make your own mistakes and learn from them, but we as your parents, we need to teach you certain things first so that you can grow up. Even if somebody comes to my grandma and be like, Melissa was out last night, and my grandmother will be like, she wasn't out, she was sleeping. And that time I have escaped through the window.
Okay.
And this one time I left in the afternoon and I was given a time, you can come back at 8 p.m. And I said, okay. I came back at 8 p.m. Everything was cool. They went to sleep. And I looked for the house keys, sorry. I couldn't find the house keys. So I'm like, no, I have to go out. So I took, there's something called a knife sharpener. So I put it on the door and I broke the door.
Only just because you want to go out again,
Yeah.
right? But then they were sleeping.
They were sleeping. So that following morning, I still came back the way I came back, and I went to sleep with my best friend. Okay. So my grandmother comes with this plank that she used to wash, and then she hits me on the head. She's like, I'm gonna kill you because you broke my door, you broke the door frame just so that you can go drink.
So, but at the end of the day, does that make you the woman you are today?
Yes, because they had to use a strong hand to make me who I am today. And I feel like with my own children, no matter how we live in a modernized world now, I still have to have a certain way to be strict to them. Yeah.
Melody, I think you you love your mom and she always care about you. Did she ever, try to put you and Suleiman straight?
So my mom is not someone that's strict. My dad is the strict one. My mom, like, if she hits you, you'll start laughing at her because she doesn't know how to beat a child up. But my dad, on the other hand, my dad is a dictator. Like, he is.
But I think he's not. He's just trying to be a father. You remember? Because African parents, sometimes they can be like that. They don't tolerate nonsense. It's only recently that I think our generation we kind of so soften.
I think our generation learned from the way we were raised, and we try to do better as parents. That's what it is. Because there's some things that our parents did that we weren't really okay with. So as much as our parents did this, which made us to turn out as good people, there's also things that they did that could have made us worse people. True. Do you understand? True. And picking bad is easier than picking good. So we could have easily gone to the left. But because we chose to be, so that's what I'm saying, from that bad, what I'm trying to say is there's certain things that could have made us bad. Now we look at those certain things and we like, I want to do better as a parent. I don't want my child to experience that. So I wouldn't say we are a softer generation. We just a generation that wants our child. There's a lot of traumas that our parents put us through, believe it or not. And we look at that and we're like, no, I don't want my child to go through that trauma. Do you understand?
Can we have that mindset of, yes, we don't want our kids to go through such things, right? But at the end of the day, we need to be strict because I'll tell you this. This recent generation, the kids these days, right? They knew more than their ages.
Of course they're going to.
Why? Because even in school, I remember vividly in my primary school, there was some certain things you would do. A teacher have the right to flog you.
But times have changed.
Listen to this, but not to the extent of making your parents to come to school. I don't know if you get my point. There's a certain way a teacher need to let you know that this is wrong. Do you get what I mean? Sometimes in my primary school, a teacher will tell you, "Can I see your pants?" Like, bah, bah. Do you get what I mean? And then she will correct you. But at the end of the day, when I was growing up, there's some certain things we would do, me and my siblings. My parents are not around, but our neighbors will still spank us and tell you, when your parents come back, I will come and tell them what you did. And when and my parents are back, they will come and tell what you did. My parents will tell them, yeah, you did well.
Oh.
Does it make sense? You get what I mean?
Now me, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there was a saying where I'm coming from that only your parents cannot train you.
Of course, that's true.
Do you get what I mean? Because my parents were like, you don't need to be out of the compound. But I think my brother was actually trying to cross the road. He nearly,
Got hit.
you know what I mean? And my neighbor saw from upstairs, and then she shouted my brother's name. There, "Come back here!" And then
Because you're not supposed to be out in the first place.
do you get what I mean? At the end of the day, but I concur with what Melody said, that the trauma that of that time, that our parents are very strict to us, the trauma that we pass through. But when you check about the things that you know now, because your parents were trying to put you in a certain way, you will be grateful. In as much as they maybe the way they handle you was kind of rough. But at the end of the day, we also need to teach our future kids that this is wrong and this is right in a proper way. Do you get what I mean? In a proper way.
Like, for me, I just feel like there's levels to being strict as a parent. Like, some parents take it so far that they give you military training in the house. That is taking it too far. That is taking it that is taking it extremely far. It's like, some parents that if you do one small thing, like school finishes at 3:00, they want you to be at home by 3, that same 3:00. It doesn't make sense. Like, if such small things, and then maybe they'll tell you, oh, lift up the chair on your hand, bend down on your knees. Like, there's levels. So as a parent, you need to know when you're going too far. For me, I feel like earlier on you mentioned something about when you're at school, back in the days when you're at school, your teacher has the right to hit you. For me, don't touch my child. Like, I would do that. Because I don't know, like, some teachers would not hit with love. Not hit with love per se, but because you're not their child, they would not know how to hit you. They would just hit you. Like, I know how to discipline my child. Report to me. I'll know what to do. Maybe take this away from you. Take your door off because you won't have privacy again. There's just, so that they get it into their heads. Like, there's certain small things that I would do, but I wouldn't beat my child up. I don't.
Melody, can I take us back to what happened recently? Whereby the 14, 15-year kids were here somewhere in Parklands, right? Now, let me tell you something that I learned from that. Let me just enlighten you a bit about what I learned from that. Now, a child was not in school on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday. You as a teacher, you didn't notice like
The absence.
that these kids were absent.
You should notice.
Okay, fine. The parent sent a message to the child. Where are you? When are you coming back? They
Not
said
the parent to the child.
I'm sorry to cut
Okay.
you off. Normally now in schools, right? Let's say I'm a teacher, for example, and there's 40 of you in my class. I'm going to take everybody's number. Just in case you are struggling with homework or with certain something, I'm able to access me as a teacher before your parent accesses me. So as soon as you're not in my class, maybe you are stuck somewhere, maybe you're in a transport somewhere, or maybe you're not feeling well. Instead of me to call your mom, let me first reach out to you. Hi, Melody, how are you good? How far are you? Because you could still be on your way to school. So I can't just jump into a conclusion of calling your mom to say, hi, Melody's mom, she's not in class. What if in a minute's time, yeah,
Okay, guys, you know the reason why I was bringing that up is ne, because I found out like the way the parents these days are so free with kids is actually, to me, is actually not good. Me, you as Melissa as a woman, your child cannot be home complete whole week and you relax.
Okay.
No, let me just conclude. And you relaxed. And then at the end of the day, she's not going to school. She's still in school. She's not going to school. She's not in your house as your child. Don't you think this generation, we kind of threw free-handedly to kids?
First of all, you said this generation, not all mothers are like that.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, like, because at the end of the day, you as a mother, you will tell the teacher how to teach your child.
okay, sorry to
But you as Melissa, maybe probably you busy with your work. Because remember, recently, most ladies, they actually don't have time for their kids, right? So now, when the child is misbehaving, maybe the teacher can spot, but you can't. Remember, you're busy with work whatsoever. So now, if you can tell the teacher a certain way to handle your child, she might be reluctant when it comes to something going on because you already inform her to, you know what I mean? So I think we should do better as future generation. We should do better, if not being strict, but we must set the record straight.
I think also being strict comes with your background training. Because nowadays, let's say I work in Checkers, for instance, and my salary is 3,500 Rand. And my child is 16 years old, she's endowed, and she can get whoever that can approach her. And now my child comes home with a plastic bag with eggs and so forth that we need at the house. I, as a parent, now start pulling back because you, as my child, or Melody, as my daughter, is now bringing food at home. There was no bread. Today it's a Saturday. There's no bread. Melody can call Suleiman, for example. Hi, babe. We don't have bread. He's not gonna buy bread only. He's gonna buy bread, cold drink, this, that. So now when I tell Melody, you can't do this and this, she can just say, "Who are you to tell me not to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Because you guys are staying in this house eating my food." The electricity so day was exhausted, and I was the one that loaded electricity in this house. You didn't have transport to go to work. I was the one that gave you 200 Rand to go to work. So you start pulling back as a parent. She can tell you that at least I still look good when you are just an old hag with thin bones.
Actually heard something like that.
It's
there was a
happening.
child that actually,
It's happening.
I think
So-
she texted her mom something like that, or I don't know, but like, again, like Melissa just said,
She just made a valid
it's
point.
really about the home training you give them.
Yes.
It's about the foundation that you lay for your kids, because there's no way, you know, there's some kids that have parents who earn 3K, but they are still grateful children and they know how to behave when they're outside. Do you understand? Because still, yes, I'm earning 3K, but I still know how to look after my children. I still know, I'm still telling them, come back at this. I know how to, you know, I know how to control my house and my children. Then there's parents who just don't care.
It's not that they don't care, Melody, because firstly, I want to buy All Stars, the Converse, for example. Hi, mommy, can you please buy me this shoe? It's 800 Rand or whatsoever. You tell me, no, you know that we don't have the money. And you, as a parent, you don't hold yourself with dignity. You expose yourself to kids. So that's where I start disrespecting you as my mom to say, my mom can't buy me this shoe. And there's also peer pressure in that. Melody comes from her home where her mom works at Checkers, but still provides. I stay in my own home with my mom, who, if I need an iPhone 14 and she can't provide it today, she can just say, okay, weekend, we're gonna go buy it. And then there's you, whose mother cannot afford anything. We barely have food in the house, in your house, sorry. And now you feel intimidated by me and Melody. So you now feel like, let me go look for a guy who's gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for us at home.
Okay, but Melissa, listen, there's something Melody said. It still count that you need to train your child properly. That she need to understand that this is the capacity of the house, despite the fact that you can provide her with her needs at that particular time.
Like, they need to understand that even this.
I grew up from a poor home. Do you get what I mean? Let me be honest now to you guys. I think I haven't said this before. I did close to 4 jobs. I started paying rent where my parents are staying when I was 17. I did car wash. At night, I did a security job. In the day, I work in a cyber cafe. I open emails for someone. For you to know what I'm saying, I joined Facebook when Facebook was out in 2009. So the reason why I'm saying that is that I obliged myself that I have to work. I don't know if you get my point. But at the end of the day, if not the way I was raised, I might end up being an armed robber or something. Do you get what I mean? But I choose to because of the way I was raised.
Because you chose to, yeah.
But does it make sense?
I get what you're saying.
But does it make sense to you?
I get what you're saying.
Because at the end of the day, I couldn't go astray because of my parents can't provide. But I choose to.
Do you understand? So
But that's your
what we say,
personal
there's 2
choice.
ways.
It's
Like-
choice and it's how I was raised.
Like earlier on when I actually have 2 things to say. Earlier on when I mentioned that some parents don't care, I didn't mean it like some parents don't care. But I was talking about the parents who, there's parents out here that actually don't care, Melissa. There's parents that their kids, a 14-year-old can be out till 2 a.m. It won't bother them. Like it might kill them inside, but they'll never, do you understand? Like those parents that will sit and drink with their children, you clearly don't care. Because you can drink as a parent, but don't drink with your child. You don't sit and smoke with your child. There still needs to be boundaries. Like we can be best friends, but you need to know that
when you say this,
they listen. Do you understand? Like, what is a 14-year-old doing outside till 4 a.m.? Like, I don't know. Like, you're out of my control. Like, as a parent, like, if you're not in my home, like, you exposed, you're out there. I don't have protection over you. Like, I can't protect you because you're 4 a.m. out of the house.
And some parents can be so pushy to their kids. Go out there, go look for other kids and bring it.
Yes, there are parents.
How can
that
you
are
push
like
your
that as
child
well.
to go out there and start bringing something home?
Yes, there's
I mean,
different kinds of parents.
you know,
And
guys,
also,
we've been signaled. Yes, I think we can talk about this topic some other time. Maybe we have a part 2 of it
this
because I
topic
know
is very
it's
deep
kind
and
of
very
deep, you know.
emotional.
But at the end of the day, we do things with time. Okay, viewers, you already hear what we have to say, and we'll be very obliged to read and understand where you guys are coming from your own point of view. If you're a parent, I don't know if you're strict to your kids, but in a certain type of way so that they can grow in love and, in certainty though. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend that Get Through Show is where it's happening. See you in the next episode.